leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much. Welcome back sports. Talking way too much. Welcome back sports. Talking way too much. Welcome back sports.
Yo, what up? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game, man. A-side official, no negotiations needed, period. Thought I'd jump on here and do a little brief live, right? Because I had to reach out, connect with the hottest chat on deck. Mike in the building. What it do, Mike? I see you. BJ Bug, Unstop Canelo on deck, man. Wilder needs to apply more body work and stop headhunting. And we're going to get into it, man. Solid point. Solid point. I want to let everybody know, man, the WBC king, Deontay Wilder, returned back to the square. It was a BLK Prime affair. And, you know, him coming off his last fight, he was pretty much, you know, there's a lot of info that's coming out with Deontay Wilder as far as, you know, what his mental state was, what he was going through in his personal life. You know, fighters go through it. We heard it, you know. But last night, he fought his 49th fight. Now, this is a fast track fighter through the Olympics that earned a bronze medal. Fast track now. End up earning a bronze Olympic medal. Fought his 49th fight. Earned his 43rd victory. 43rd knockout and his 44th victory. He was in Wichita, Kansas, man. And he dispersed of Tyrell Herdon. Salute to him for getting back in the building. You know, it's been one of those roads for him. And yeah, you know, I was definitely going to come over here and, you know, give my little piece to it. But also I wanted you to hear what the champ had to say in his post-fight presser. You know, like I tell people all the time, and they laugh and they have their criticism, but to be able to cover a U.S. heavyweight champion while he's undefeated, while he's in his prime competitive edge, while he's representing the U.S. of A., WBC heavyweight world champion, it was an absolute pleasure. You know, I tell people all the time that was my Muhammad Ali of my era, because I had the opportunity to see him reign for over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? 5 years, and had 10 successful. Now, my whole thing is people may brush that off as if it's nothing, but just looking at what he was working with and how people paged through, you know, what skill sets he was missing, what was absent from the index of the boxing Bible. You know, they had all that lined up for Deontay Wilder. He doesn't have a jab. He ain't using the jab. He's a windmiller. I remember, you know, there was a point in time where they call him, you know, Windmill Wilder, Deontay Windmill Wilder, because, you know, he used to throw that overhand right so wild, but when it landed, it still was pretty destructive, right? But I'm just going to tell you, you know, the extension is a little bit different for me, because he went through an era where the hate that he was receiving wasn't because he went on a high-speed chase. It wasn't because he popping dirty continuously like John Jones, who just retired. It wasn't that they caught this man loading his right glove, you know what I'm saying, the cemetery key. It wasn't like they caught him loading his freaking wraps with plaster of Paris. Like, they never caught this man cheating. But yet the amount of hate that was being filtered out in the media was just incredible, yo. I mean, the hate was just incredible. I mean, somebody receiving hate just based off how they form look. It was people talking about this man as if he had filed for bankruptcy 8 or 9 times already. He was getting vehicles repossessed. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just getting caught over and over again for all sorts of violations of substance abuse. He was known to sit up here and just slap random individuals while he was walking through the streets. I mean, you would think his bag, the garbage bag, that, he was doing all this. You would think that would be the case, but that wasn't the case, bro. They want to get on this man back in the day for saying the bronze bomber wanted to catch a body. They literally took that to heart. It was a lot of other things that, I used to say in my lives that it must be tough for an Olympian like Wilder to be doing everything he was supposed to be doing in the ring with the competition that was in front of him. But yet it seems like the fans just didn't give him the optimal respect that he deserved. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always say with Wilder. Like, how can you stay mentally sharp, hungry as a heavyweight world champion when you're hearing all this criticism of people, dogging you out the way you talk, what you saying while you talk, everything. Hey, but guess what? Guess what, man? I told people all the time, I said, hey, I never seen Wilder up there crapping on fans. I never seen him just crapping on fans, man. To be honest, I just never seen him acting like he was a a-hole to fans. I seen him take pictures, do the bomb squad, talk to people. The one thing I know about Wilder for sure, I've seen his people tell him to do something, like while he was still engaging with the fans, and he still engaged with the fans, and he left when he wanted to. He left and he stopped engaging with the fans, with taking pictures when he felt like it. Now, I don't know if that looks like the people's champ to you, but to me, I'm telling you, it looked like the people's champ to me, bro. A lot of stuff that I seen with my own eyes, man. Yeah, of course. He had some other things that was going on personally. But I'm just basically going off how these so-called US boxing fans believe that they had some type of right just based off the First Amendment to crap on boxers. And that boxer being Deontay Wilder, when he was doing everything he was supposed to do. He was undefeated. He was world champion. But they act like it was a whole nother group of men out there in the U.S. that he was ducking during his reign. You know what I'm saying? It just got crazy. The first, what people were saying when it came, Wilder name popped up, people try to call him trash so quickly. And there's a difference between criticizing the lack of talent of an athlete, but when you criticize an athlete and you make personal disparaging remarks about somebody, that's what gets a little crazy, yo. Like, you're not talking about his lack of skill set anymore. You're talking about trying to paint him to be this unsavory, unscrupulous, this malefactor type of individual in life. That's what was wild to me. Like, this ain't just boxing no more. Y'all are just going in on that guy just based off how he sounds and what he's saying, and him always talking about his grandmother said that he was anointed and certain things like that. People want to shut it down and say, oh, don't nobody want to hear that country bumpkin stuff. But me myself, man, I can say Wilder, man, Wilder will always get that love from me, man, because nobody can take the pictures that I got. Nobody can take the moments that I had. Me and Wilder didn't have a personal relationship, first of all. And I'm glad we didn't. I really don't get close to people like that. I would never would have liked to gotten super close to Wilder, somebody who I have ultimate respect for, because I never wanted to get to a point like certain other situations have gotten, like supporting other fighters, and then all of a sudden, depending on who said this to that person, all that, all of a sudden that relationship is strained, and it's based off of something I can't account for. I would never want to get comfortable with somebody I had utmost respect for in this game, in this sport. I've tried. It just don't work. Like, I've always left myself a good amount of space so I wouldn't be disappointed. People don't grasp, they don't understand the magnitude of that. I never wanted to get super close to the Wilder as a heavyweight champion. I really never wanted to get super close to any of these fighters, because I knew within my heart of hearts, if somebody else is out there that's just talking, and may say something just because they don't like your position. It happens. You'll be up there thinking everything cool, and you happy to see that person, and then they acted different. Why? I've been through that too many times, man, and unfortunately, it's not something that I can correct. People want to text this. People want to talk about this behind the scene, and that shit hurt to the heart, man. Because you be putting genuine, hard work and love and to covering these fighters, giving them the utmost respect. Not only that, being a retired Marine officer at that, had duties of dealing with real world situations, and then you're showing that respect to these civilians, these fighters. But yeah, you got people out here that's talking crap about something they want to make up, because everybody want to make shifts and moves behind your back and talk about so and so this and so that when they don't even know you. So I'm kind of glad I had the distance I did. I'm appreciative of being able to cover the champ. I tell people all the time the little stories, whether they respect it or not, I could care less. But he was down here for one of Tay Jones' fight. That was in a ballroom one time, and he was eating chicken wings, man. The champ was eating chicken wings, dog. I interrupted the champ eating chicken wings, bro. And he stopped eating chicken wings, man. Come on, you know how we are in the South with chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like the chicken wings was good too. He stopped doing what he's doing, and he talked about, he answered some questions that I had, in general, and then about, Tay Jones' fight. You know what I'm saying? That's respect, bro. I'm just saying that's respect to me, because a lot of fighters, I don't want to mention their name, they wouldn't give you that attention. They would just put their hand up and say, no. They would say a chicken wing is more important to me right now than talking to you. But he spoke to me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I never seen Deontay Wilder be an asshole, man. But it was a pleasure, to see him during that time being undefeated. It was great to see him return back to the ring. I've heard his interview with Ariel Helwani, how he talks about a lot of things he was going through as a person. And then I heard his post-fight conference. So post-fight presser. So I want to take you through his post-fight presser, and here's some snippets on what he had to say at the post-fight presser.
If you're not focused on the task that lies at hand in front of you, you will get hurt. It ain't you will. Absolutely. And I had to overcome a lot of different things. A lot of people don't understand. I had a long period of time of a shoulder injury as well. When I'm throwing my right hand, I used to be in pain a lot. My doctors here, he would tell you I only had 20% of my hand. Like, boy, why are you in the ring? I'm like, doc, I love this. I gotta see what I'm all about. I gotta, I'm the one that's always pushing myself, no matter what. I want to see what type of man I am. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't need to be in there, but sometimes, when you love this business and you love to do it, because it changed my life 3 times. I'm looking forward to changing the 4th time. Um, it makes you just want to get in there and see what you're all about, with the best in the world. So, you know, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed being here in Kansas. I enjoyed being here with my opponent. He trained very hard. Most of the time when guys prepare for me, they train like their life is on the line because it really is.
Absolutely.
As well as mine as well. I tell everyone that as a fighter, we fight for others and we risk our lives for others' entertainment, and that just you know bottom line of it, no cutthroats. I like to be straightforward and honest with people. That's what because I say the things I say because I want to be real and want to tell people the severeness that this business has to offer. So, I enjoyed it and I'm ready to do it again. We're gonna get back in the gym. As soon as I get back to the house, I'm going right back in the whole year. And we're gonna stick with it. We're getting a lot of calls to do this.
And this is Pac-Man ATL _ Tay. Check out his video. This is his audio. So if you want to see the full, post fight when they walking in and everything, you can go to his video.
Just to have this big fight, when you're in the heavyweight division, you're always one fight away from a title fight, and we just don't want to push it. We want to take our time, just like I did tonight. I took my time, and we're gonna do it with the return as well. Just taking our time, continue to do what we need to do until we feel like we're ready to take it back over again.
And you answered my third and final question when you said taking your time.
That's what we're gonna do until we feel like sometimes it's not.
People said I was crazy.
You know what I mean? And we got to make sure things right because we're in the hurt business. And if you get any doctor will tell you the head is not meant to be hit. The body's not meant to be hit either. You know what I mean? So, we have to take our time. And so when we're ready, everyone will know. How about that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the best answer I can give you for that.
We'll go to you, sir, but guys, please limit the follow-up questions. We need to get all the reporters in, so one question, then we'll get back to you. Take it back, sir.
The answers. It's not an issue of opponents for us. I've been getting calls already. If you look around the landscape, there's not many big heavyweight fights that you want to make. There's a few. Deontay can figure into any of them. But last year, when he took off, he never, people talk this, that. I just read things I said and I never spoke to the person. And it's happened. But we have gotten calls from the top fighters, from the bar again.
He's pretty low, Shelly Finkel.
He's going to show.
It's no need for me to go through that. He's pretty low, monotone. So you're not going to be able to hear too much of that as far as Shelly Finkel. Shout out to Shelly Finkel, man. His manager. Big shout out to Don Vaughn in the chat, man. Dreams on deck. I see. Pim on deck. What's good? Carlos Rosado on deck. I'm at the phone to my ear trying to hear. Yeah. It's too low. Now, this is my take. People gonna feel the way they feel. I'm not here to debate on how he looked and what he didn't look. The man returned back to the ring. You know what I'm saying? The man returned back to the ring. His last fight was June 1st, 2024. A knockout loss in the 5th round to Zhang, right? And he came back a year later and was able to get the stoppage versus a young fighter. Deontay is older than this guy. This guy was 37 years of age. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he had 5 losses and 4 of them been stoppages. Well, guess what? Deontay has 4 losses and 3 of them were stoppages. 39 years old. He's older than the guy. But when you look at it, he came back after a year And you have people talking about, I didn't like the way he looked and all this. He was patient. He was popping the jab out there. What more do you want? To the level opponent he was fighting. People want to talk about he's fighting in Kansas. He knew that. We knew he was fighting in Kansas. And can we really get some new info? We knew he was fighting in Kansas. That's what the word was. BLK Prime. That's what it was. He fought. He worked, he was working on some tools, being patient, popping the jab out there, wasn't overextending himself, just being erratic, like, just trying to fire off the right hand to give the audience what they wanted. He was working on some things, and he gradually worked himself to a stoppage. Isn't that what boxing's about? I think a lot of y'all don't want to see any good in what he's doing while he was champion. And since he's lost his belt, it really don't matter how he looked last night. It's the fact that the results played out the way they did. He went in there and got the stoppage in a way that it wasn't in the first or second or third round. He went in there and worked on some things, man. Real talk. He went in there and worked on some things. So shout out to the champ, man. Congrats to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Congrats to Wilder getting his 44th victory and 43rd knockout, man. It's been a long time coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tuscaloosa. This man has a statue in the middle of Tuscaloosa, in the heart of Tuscaloosa, enshrined. You know what I'm saying? Enshrined in his memory. In his freaking in his highlight, in his recognition. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, man. Shout out to him, bro. Let me get the Floyd Schofield, man. I want to touch bases on Tevin Farmer a bit, not too much, and the fight that's going down tonight. So, what we know for sure is that Tevin Farmer did not fight Shakur Stevenson, so Josh Padley had to come in. He got sick and all that. People criticize the crap out of him. He in it now. He in the pot. He is in the pot and the water's boiling. He's to step in there with Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer at the moment is 33-8 and won 8 knockouts. Okay. 8 of those losses, he's been stopped twice. The real identifying color is red for Tevin Farmer because he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Murataya, Cepeda. Okay, so therefore those are some big names, but he's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. But what we've seen in the Cepeda fight is another reminder that Tevin Farmer can box. He's one of those boxers that don't get the respect he deserves, but he can box. Okay, for Schofield, though 8-0, they're waiting for him to step in there with a season, upgrade, a step-up opponent to show the fans that he's the next contender. He's one of the next contenders at 135 pounds. This is the fight. This is his golden moment to prove to the people, for now, that he's a serious contender. Hey, there's certain people based off the William Cepeda situation. They're pretty much saying, I don't think Schofield has an opportunity to go in there and be competitive against Tevin Farmer. A lot of people saying that, man. I can see why they're saying it too. I can understand why they're saying what they're saying. We just look back on the fight that he had with Renee, and Schofield was down in round 11. But they won't include the fact that Renee was 20-3. It wasn't like he was just a rookie off the YMCA. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, he got up and he continued to fight. Though he was reckless and he was making ill-advised decisions, he still went in there and won the fight. Now, we all know that when it comes to the complexion for the protection of when fighters get knocked down and get back up and fight on, for some reason that doesn't bleed over to the black fighters, in my opinion. If you got Mexican, Hispanic fighters, or what have you, they get knocked down and get back up. Cool. European fighters, yeah, they get back up. Oh, fight on. Fight on. Oh, that was a war. Oh, this is what we dream about. When the torches are lit and we're highlighting and we're holding it and we're lighting up the past accolades of these fighters. What is etched in our minds is the war that he had with this fighter and that fighter. Back and forth, punch for punch. They say a testament of a man is not doing comfort and convenience, but through challenge and controversy. They be talking all that talk. I just don't think it matters to black fighters, because black fighters get knocked down and their own people say they trash. Black fight fans will go to one specific fight where you had adversity, and that's all they want to talk about. Of course, it's not the overall consensus. I'm just saying, they're so good at it. They go back to one fight. Like people keep on mentioning Jamel Herring to freaking Lamont Roach. Jokic Gamboa to Terrence Crawford. I mean, they just pick one fight. But yet when it comes to Bam Rodriguez, oh man, he should be on the pound for pound list. I like Bam too. I give him full credit for getting off the canvas and then, making it interesting and getting back into the fire. I salute him for that. But the same warrior spirit I give to Bam, I got to give to Errol Spence. I have to give to Errol Spence continue to get up off the canvas, man. Through the pain, through the embarrassment, through all of it. And yes, I've been critical of Errol Spence, but I got to say he ain't no punk. He ain't no quitter. Because EJ continued to get off the canvas. Devin Haney, same thing. The embarrassment, the damage. It's just wild hearing people talk about him like the man didn't get up multiple times. There's a Q word that can resonate with a lot of individuals during a moment like that, especially if you have one of those names that's above average. And that's the quit. The no mas. You know how long Roberto Duran had to hear that Sugar Ray Leonard, a black fighter, made him quit after he clearly beat him? Was Roberto Duran awarded for being the first fighter to beat Sugar Ray? I mean, I'm pretty sure that was his, people that would say no mas, no mas, no mas. Now you quit. But black fighters don't have to quit. They can keep on getting up and getting up and get up. But the only thing their fans is going to talk about is them getting knocked down. Face down, ass up. Ha, 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 ha. But you got to credit these guys from getting off the canvas. Teofimo Lopez, too. Lomachenko got sat down by Jorge Linares, got up, continued to fight. People get knocked down all the time, bro. Fighters coming back from knockdown and have their best performance. Julian Williams. I said the Julian Williams that fought Jerry Hurd, man, if he could have sustained that, man, he would have been something special. Because it just seems like dude was locked in on an entire different calibration. The freaking, I mean, when you're talking about looking your best, Schofield's gonna have to do that tonight. Schofield's gonna have to go in there and not be such a headhunter. He's got to go in there and show that he has a variety to his boxing IQ. I've seen him in the past just go headhunting, and that's not smart for him, bro. You cannot just go in here and be a headhunt. And look, somebody said in the chat they would have liked to see Deontay Wilder go to the body more. I totally agree. It would have been good to see him dig to the body with that power. If you have power in either hand, and you distribute that power to the body just like you do to the head, if the fighter should feel it. We're gonna see how do we grade Floyd Schofield's overall boxing curriculum. How does he take the test of the sweet science at this point in his career? Because there's a lot of doubters out there strictly from them not liking his pops. They feel some type of way about his pops, and now they wanted to just carry that over to Floyd Schofield. Schofield, I find to be a very respectable young man. The things that people, say about his pops, you always have to do the old school reversal. Like, what if you was in his position? Y'all dudes would be crashing out. What if somebody says something about your mammy? Oh, you don't say nothing about my mammy. Oh man, I'll air this out. I'll air this bitch out. That's what they say, right, y'all? You talk about their mammy, they'll air it out. What about your father? You have to ask yourself over and over again. Do you really think about what you're saying when you're up here criticizing these fighters for their fathers? Like, if fathers are allowed to sacrifice, because these fathers are making sacrifices now. These fathers are making sacrifices. The fathers that right here, right now, the popular ones, they're making extreme sacrifices to basically chaperone their kids through boxing. That's from just like Lash Puma's doing with his kid. That's sacrifices to be made. You know what I'm saying? From the amateurs all the way up to the pros. I mean, mad sacrifice to be made. Your kids still have to train boxing to get hit in the head as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if he's getting hit in the head by another child. It's the fact that he's getting hit in the head. Just like Deontay Wilder always say, the head ain't meant to be hit. It's just like Little League football. There's no way I would have put any of my kids in Little League football. And the way they be, those coaches always want them kids to do those drills where they help do head-on drills and crack each other. That's CTE. And you wonder when your kid get a teenager why they acting out and doing crazy shit, because they got CTE damage. Boxing, depending on how young these fighters get into the sport, man, it's a hell of a freaking road, man. You feel me? It's a hell of a freaking road. So today, we already know Tevin Farmer. He's experienced, man. Former world champion, he's experienced. Floyd Schofield, this is definitely a test for him to go in there against a skilled opponent like Tevin Farmer. No drop on Schofield. This is nothing on Schofield. But I will have to go and lean towards Tevin Farmer off experience until I see you finish this fight. That's all I have to say. It's nothing on the lack of skills you don't have. Floyd Schofield has some of the best training videos out there. I think that is one of his pluses, man. I think he's a marketable fighter. He's one of the only fighters that's putting out training videos like he does. And I really hope he sticks to that, because those strength and condition videos he be putting out is top 2 of boxers in the sport, showing you how they do different training techniques and stuff like that. He should keep that up. But you have to take that same freaking training regiment, and we need to see it play out in the square, big dog. We need to see it today. The fight cards are starting. We need to see this from Schofield tonight. I just find Tevin Farmer to be way more talented right now as a boxer when it comes to the sweet science than Floyd Schofield. That doesn't mean I don't like Schofield as a fighter, but I just see Tevin Farmer being so much slicker than Floyd Schofield, and he has defense. I mean, this is gonna be a tough fight. Now, if Farmer is taking the orders, we clearly gonna see it. If they're in there moving around and Farmer is not as active as he was against Cepeda, he took the orders. Okay, they exist. I don't care who shuts it down, man. The orders exist in boxing. And anyone who's followed me long enough know what the orders are. But we just got to see what happens with Schofield and Farmer, because I see Farmer as the better fighter heading into this showcase tonight. I do. Has nothing to do with his father. I don't dislike his father. I mean, as a father in general in the sport of boxing, it's tough being in the military raising kids to have a relationship. It's even, in my opinion, tougher in boxing because your kid is going through a training regimen where pain is being inflicted on him just to train the sport. When you go through track, if you experience pain in your calf, your hamstring, your quad, your feet, your ankle, you know what I'm saying? You can get somebody to massage that. But in boxing, we're talking about the neurological headquarters. We're talking about how the whole entire process of thinking, your functionality, your body mechanics, your physical anatomy, all those components. Your head is on the front end of gloves. And there's no Hallmark card for that. Just like they told us in the core, you signed up for this. So when it gets tough for you, you signed up for it, man. In boxing, you signed up for it. Boxing, the full contact sport, you getting hit in the head. Headgear on, it don't matter. You getting hit in the head. It's a tough sport. But, at the end of the day, you listen to some of these fight fans talk and how they just discredit fighters on one, knowing they can't go in there and go 60. I'm talking about 60, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, man. They can't give you 60. Just think about it. They'd be lucky if they give you a good 2 minutes with gloves on, doing mitt drills, than to split the ropes to go up there fully laced up and spar. Man, shout out to the keyboard warriors, because them always come with no wraps, no gloves, and the only punches is they're gonna throw is the verbal ones. Them the ones is gonna go up here and do verbal jousting, verbal sparring with people from behind the screen, because it doesn't require them to put in the mouthpiece and split the ropes and go in there and take that back. See what punches are coming back. That's the crazy part about these fans today. They calling fighters trash so easily. But those same fighters, it would be good to have a show like Jason Mayhem Miller had back in the day. I think it was Bully Beatdown or something like that, where Jason went in there against bullies. And he allowed them to have an opportunity to fight him. And he wasn't even going full speed. And we're talking about guys, from gyms that thought they was this, that, and the other. I mean, we need to bring that back, because it's a lot of individuals that talk crap about these fighters. And they don't know how difficult it is just to do 2 minutes of mitt drills. I'm talking about constant combinations, not the bold, to Tank Davis, where you have high level coordination drills going on there. The sequence you have to, remember over and over and over again. They're going at a high speed. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about 1-2, 1-2, 2-1, 1-1-2, 2-2-1, jab, jab, jab. Just simple basic stuff over and over and over and over again. Hey, that ain't easy, man. Must be up here. Hold up. Where the bucket at? Where the bucket, man? You hear me? Got past 30 seconds. Man, I'm throwing up, man. Where the bucket? Y'all will be coming for that bucket service. We ain't talking about the bucket of chicken from Kentucky either. Just put it out there, yo. Man, that sparring ain't no joke, man. But you got all these people just up here. Oh, they trash. They trash, man. Come on, bro. Man, the respect level, man. They need to revise this shit, man. You know, the First Amendment is what it is, but in this boxing game, you would just hope that somehow, some way, they stop calling these fighters trash, because this stuff, these training regiment these boxers have are no joke, man. You know, you see these boxers come in and start warming up with the jump rope. A lot of you dudes can't jump rope unless you're jumping off both feet, man. I'm gonna be honest. And then you cannot continuously jump rope for a good minute without saying, "Hey, coach, what a water at? You got some water?" I mean, some of these coaches like, "Damn, you new in the gym, you ain't getting no water, man. You have to train until you throw up, man. Period." Because it's mind over matter. Mind over matter. Shout out to my guy TGB in the building, man. Tough glove boxing. What it do with you, bro? Salute, family. I agree. I was proud of how he used his jab and was patient with his attacks. He also cut the ring off very good. Yeah, he was patient, yo. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. He was patient, man. Tevin about to knock out Schofield. I just see Tevin, man, is being a way more talented, skillful pugilist today, man. I cannot frame it yet. Don't be mad at me. I cannot frame Schofield beating Farmer just yet. The skill sets are separated tremendously. Yes. I just, you know, with the defense and everything and the boxing IQ, I give all those check marks to Tevin Farmer. I have not yet been able to competent. I'm talking about with competence, grade Schofield ring IQ as being respectable. You know, I'm not at that place yet. BGC, I got Schofield. Okay. Right. Swat Jones in the building. What it do, Swat? Man, salute to you, big dog. I'm always around, bro. Sometimes from afar, as WCS would say. You know what I'm saying? You got to be from afar, man, because, you know, people don't understand that's some real stuff, man. Like, I don't want to get too close with, you know, any fighter that I appreciate being around and having to cover and just have somebody else deteriorate that, degrade it. You know what I'm saying? Tear it down. Dissolve your relationship with that fighter, being able to cover them just because somebody else don't like you, because somebody else told them something, but never really something that's directly related to the fighter being disrespected or something. It's crazy, bro. In boxing, believe it or not, that happens all the time, man. You know, that's why I've been chilling from the sport, man. You know, you be in certain situations, you have a relationship dissolve, and people want to continue to blame you for certain things, this, that, and the other. No, maybe you in your lane. Maybe you're keeping correct distance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're doing what you're supposed to, not being an ass kisser. You're doing just enough to cover the fighter. Maybe you're in your safe zone, and people see you in your safe zone, and they're not you know, to them, they're not happy about it. That's not enough. A Japanese fighter get knocked down by a DoorDash driver and saves the weekend. You know what I'm saying, man? You ain't never lied, man. You have never lied, man. He did save the weekend. 2 fight cards. And they talking about that Japanese fighter who was in a tough knock him out, drag out fight with a DoorDash driver. Crazy. Tevin better not let Kid Austin beat him. Hey, man, I'm with you there, Puma. I mean, he's way more talented than Schofield. I just cannot fathom it right now. Hey, B, what's good with it, man? OG Golden on deck. Salute to you, big dog. Okay. So Holly Holmes is on Jake Paul's prelims. Cool. You know, shout out to the multi-time, like 18-time world champ Holly Holmes doing a thing. You know, shout out to her. I like Holly Holmes. I do. I liked her when she beat Ronda Rousey. You know, I like Holly Holmes, man. Very talented. Very talented. One of the only boxers, you know, that come from boxing, and then she went to kickboxing. A lot of people don't know. Took her time, got her skills right, then came over to MMA and was a definite threat. Was a legitimate threat. What round is it on? Because I'm about to watch this. Tev is gonna drop that boy. Yeah, I believe something should happen. Unless Tevin took the orders, man. Unless Tevin took the orders. That's all I'm saying. Unless he took the orders, man. He already got 3 losses, man. And you know, another thing with Tevin is that he's taking these short turnarounds for a check. Like, come on, bro. Let me show you this with Tevin Farmer. You know, Tevin Farmer just got out the ring March, April, May, June. March 29th, the end of March, he's back in the ring against Schofield. You need to pay attention to that. You definitely need to pay attention to the quick turnaround. We've seen fighters crash and burn a little bit from that. We've seen Abdullah Mason in 2024. He fought 4 times, I think. And freaking Hami Munguia, I believe, fought 5 times. He got stopped. You know what I mean? Hey, man, your body break down, bro. One thing for sure, we're about to see what Schofield Jr. IQ really like tonight. Tevin record is irrelevant when he stands so active. It's going to be tough for Schofield. Hey, facts, man. Straight like that. Good point. My son just came back from Vegas. Next stop, Texas in December. Okay, for sure, man. For sure. You went out to the fight, man? I know. Tevin Gates to pay the hell twice, like some say he pulled out. He pulled one out of 2. And few say Tevin won both. Tevin kind of got momentum right now. It's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, man. IOTBA Boxing Talk is in the building. What's good with it, man? Texas on deck. Salute to you. Shout out to the Spit Bucket Podcast, man. Who you got in that Farmer fight there, IO? Farmer Schofield fight. Are you rooting for the underdog Schofield to have his coming out moment? You know, and show the people that, hey, stop tripping on him? Or what? Yeah, man. You know, I heard she the last fight on the prelim. Okay, for sure. Appreciate that round 1. Yeah, I want to see Holly Holmes fight. I do. I want to see Holly Holmes fight, man. I like this fight for Farmer. I think Schofield mentality out of there, him and his daddy. Yeah, that's what a lot of people, you know, saying. But I look at Floyd Schofield as being a good young man, you know, son. For real. He's very mature. He has a kid already. And I believe him to be respectful in a way. I don't see him as being a chump. It's just, you know, in this boxing game, now we have this stigma where you have father-son dynamics. I mean, that's your father. You know what I'm saying? That's your father for sure. It just seems like in boxing, people don't care, bro. Like, it's people die for messing with people's kids. For real. It's retaliation in life for messing with people's kids. But look, I tell people all the time, check this out, though. Check this out. I tell people this all the time, man. Boxing has this freaking unbelievable bubble that's contaminated. I don't know what type of freaking virus to call it, but it has a bubble. Boxing has a bubble of how it criticizes father-son dynamics. Where to the point where you have to question yourself psychologically, how are you leaving out that they're related? That is his loved one, right? That is his loved one. Not only that, they're making all this sacrifice. A lot of cats have not sat in an amateur tournament. A lot of cats have not sat in gyms and smelt the funk, the must, listen to the sounds of fighters hitting bags, punching on mitts, sparring going on, strength and conditioning. They haven't sat there for hours and experienced that. And then if you tell them, hey man, you haven't sat in no gym, what the hell? I ain't no boxer. Why am I sitting in the gym? Just to give you more of a perspective when it comes to the respect label. You know, the hashtag respect. A lot of these cats ain't doing it. But these are these grown men's sons, right? In the military, when your kid goes off at 17 or 18, the duties that they're performing is enough for them to be sent to combat. Now we have fathers and sons talking for their kids in this boxing game. I get it. And that irritates a lot of people. But in the military, your parents ain't saying nothing. When look, your kid go in there and then in the first year, they find themselves, they're going over to combat. Oh, I'm about to deploy to Iraq. For real? Why? You just got it. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that, bro. Your parents ain't calling them no command. Why are you sending my daughter to combat? Why are you sending my son to combat? They are considered an adult. You're gone. That's what you signed up for. We got your orders. We're going to start having pre-op deployments to prepare ourselves for that. We already have the total head count. Once you're on, you're on. It doesn't matter if you think that you're going to put in leave. I'm going to take a leave of absence. Okay? Remember, we're supposed to deploy June 15th. Okay? We're deploying June 15th. Now, up to that point, before you deploy, you can take leave. Oh, I was planning on taking leave June 13th, and I wasn't coming back to July 13th. I was going to take 30 days. No. You on the deployment roster. You can't do that. You can't take leave and come back and leave and think you're gonna come over there on the rear party. No, you're on the freaking list. Your name is there. You're going to combat. But over in boxing, it's a full-time combat. So people kind of forget because they hear these fathers talking for their family. That's a word that's not used. They have these fathers who contributed to producing these kids to now happen to deal with boxing fans who could care less, man. But yet, hey, mess around and say something about their kid. Crash out. They will tell you every threat that they have. Where you at? Oh, let me see you. You better not ever come to this city right here. You better not ever do this. Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. Man, you have some content creators in talking crazy to these boxers, knowing some of these guys' fathers box themselves, man. They ain't just going to the gym sitting around. They don't box themselves, bro. And these cats up here, when I see you, I'm going to do this to you. I mean, bro, are you not wanting to come home to your kids? Because some dudes ain't throwing hands no more, but they can squeeze real nice. They can goddamn chitty bang bang. You know what I'm saying? They'll put you in front of that muzzle and tell you to wait for the flash. Smile. They ain't playing. Shit, what the hell are they talking about, man? I heard you was in Hollywood, fam. Representing DFW on the screen. What good with you? Oh, you in Hollywood, man. You over there doing, you on the big screen? I know everyone thinks Crawford does everything better than Canelo. So what Canelo do better? I don't think everybody thinks that Crawford does everything better than Canelo. I just think it's right. Good for conversation. You know what I'm saying? Sidebars. Good for sidebars. Good for chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? Good for you just, having some boxing topics that people want to talk about. And we all know what get people riled up is fights of this magnitude where you have the Mexican and black components. You know that ethnicity sells for real. So, like we already know, there's relationships that's being severed right now as we speak because of the criticism you said about Canelo, because of criticism you said about Crawford. I mean, relationship. Hey man, you come over to no man, I ain't dealing with you, man. I heard you on that panel. You got cats on panels. Mud's dropping links. Hey man, check out your boy, man. Look at him over here, dog. Hey man, look, I dropped the link. Mud be link dropping. They be link dropping like a mother. They be link dropping. Hey man, check your boy out, man. Timestamp 1351. 1351, man. That is right there. I timestamped it for you, dog. I timestamped it. Go check it out, man. They'll be over there. Hey, check out IO, man. Old boy on IO. Oh my God. Oh my God. 1 minute he over there, Crawford. 1 minute he talking about Canelo. Oh man, dog. Man, this shit crazy, dog. Well, I'm definitely gonna check out this boxing, man. And best wishes to them cats, man. Let me even go to the undercard. They got a nice little heavy undercard, man, for Schofield Farmer. My boy Zerdo is on deck. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to seeing him. He only has one loss, and that's against Bivol now. That ain't nothing to damn just throw mud on that man name. That's against Bivol. Come on, man. Give him his credit here. Avius Griffin, rather. I want to see what this cat's about. 17-0. I want to see him and see what he's talking about for the WBC USA welterweight champ. Okay. Who else is on here? They have a guy called Jake Paul on here. Yeah, I don't know if you know him, but Jake Paul, 11-1. He's one loss from Tommy Fury. He's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Name you're familiar with was daddy, his papa. Speaking of father-son dynamics, yes, his father, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He did produce a seed, though that seed, like many other seeds, did not live up to the chromosome expectations that was put out there in the DNA strand. Yes, he is 54-6-1. He has a lot of fights. But living up to emulate the expectation of his father has not been met. But anyway, we passed that. He's coming out. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back to the ring. And look, let me brief you on some info. He fought Uriah Hall, right? Which is a mixed martial artist. Uriah Hall was 1-0. He fought Uriah Hall July 20th, 2024. And he won a unanimous decision. Now, we cannot and we will not criticize Chavez Jr. for fighting Uriah Hall when Jake Paul has, I don't know how many, he has a whole hospice care of mixed martial artists that retired, that was over the hill. Jake Paul. I'm talking about full benefits paid. Yes, he liked the soft banana bread. Yeah. And make sure he has that premium cheese and crackers. Give him some the green grapes today. And put a little bit more applesauce in there. Yeah, something soft. Slide down, because they're going to be over there playing cards. You know what I'm saying? Just give him some finger food. Jake Paul has the entire old folks home of mixed martial artists on this record. So we can't get mad at Chavez Jr. for having Uriah Hall. You feel me? And one of those common opponents of freaking Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva Truth be told, Anderson Silva, a legend in mixed martial arts. You know, he was a boxer. You know what I'm saying? He was a boxer, though not a good boxer. He does have a boxing license. He has also been in there with Jake Paul, you know, and he's been in there with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He fought Chavez Jr. in 2021. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So they have common opponents in Anderson Silva, who is retired right now. And also he's been in there with the likes of Daniel Jacobs. Okay. Of course, Canelo Alvarez, we all remember that, right? When he went in there with Saul Canelo Alvarez, they had already signed a fight for Canelo to fight Gennady Golovkin. And it was just a 12-round, it's just a 12-round beating. And then immediately after that fight was over, they was happy to bring in Triple G and say, we are announcing the first fight between Triple G and the one and only Saul Canelo Alvarez. This fight will be a 12-round affair for Gennady Golovkin's belts. Stay tuned for further info. You know, we all know how that happened. But like I said before, he does have a lot of freaking fights, a total of 62 fights to his resume. He has the DNA of a boxing legend, his pops. Whether people will ever consider Chavez Jr. to be a boxing legend, I doubt it. Why? Because some of them cannot shake the fact when he was in them. Look at that man with the Daisy Dukes on. Look at that man with the Daisy Dukes on. Look at that man with the Daisy Dukes. I mean, nobody. I mean, some people just can't erase him being in them short shorts with heels. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, cocaine is a hell of a drug. God damn it. And maybe, you know, he has snorted the right shit, bro. Allegedly. It made him go in there and goddamn put on them Daisy Dukes and get them platform heels and be caught on camera doing that. I mean, he went through some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can say about that shot. UFC on today. I'm hyped about the main event. Yeah. It's some nice fight cards on today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the ones who watch mixed martial arts too. You know, shout out to them. But to Poirier, Oliveira, oh my goodness. UFC 317 is gonna be bumping. I was gonna, you know, just want to keep it on boxing. It's gonna be a hell of a freaking main event right there. Topuria, in my opinion, can be a boxer if he wanted to, just like I said about Alexander what's his name? Alexander Volkanov. He too has very good hands to be a boxer. But yeah, check that 300 UFC 317 out, man. You know, you have Kai France going in there against Alejandro Pantoja. I mean, it's had a pretty good fight card, man. For real. Pretty good fight card. For those of you that stick to mixed martial arts too. I gotta go watch boxing, man. I gotta go watch the fight cards. UFC got Hall. He lost to Anderson Silva too, former years. Yeah. But he also has one of the most amazing spinning heel kicks, knockouts you'll ever see. Now, Vitor Belfort, when he was fighting, you know, Luke Rockhold, he too had one of the most devastating spinning heel kicks too. I mean, I can go down the list, but yeah, man. Crazy how Jake beat a 48-year-old Anderson Silva by split. Yeah, man, nobody talk about that, man. Put it up there for replay gang. You know, I mean, come on, man. Anderson Silva took a knee. Stop. Come on, Anderson. You know you could have beat that guy, but the contract said no. The contract said, no, you're not winning. Chavez wasn't doing nothing in that fight. Dude was big for nothing. True. Chavez get put through the ropes. You know, I look at it like this. I'm curious to see if he's going to box, because at this point in time, you know, if your mind is not totally focused on the fight, man, you might come in there and move around. People, look, if you listen to this channel, you need to understand what moving around is. It's when fighters spar or they get in the ring with one another and to work on certain things. You have to understand, fighters spar all the time. So it's nothing for them to go in there and really move around and throw feints and keep distance, throw a punch here and there with not maximum punching power on it. I mean, they know how to do that shit, man. They know how. They're smart. They smart, yo. Real talk, they smart, man. That's all I'm saying. They freaking smart, yo. What else is out there? They trying to say Ayatuma, Moses Ayatuma. Really don't have no competition. People ain't gonna be getting in line to face him. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna pull back up a little bit later though, y'all. I gotta go check out some of these boxing. I appreciate y'all, man. Floyd Schofield, man. I hope you nothing but the best in your shining moment. It's for real. I want Schofield to get more respect than he does, man, because a lot of people not giving him respect because of his pops. I really want to see him get more respect than that. Real talk. Let me check one more thing, man. Let me see. Let me check one more thing before I give. Let's see. What was it? Something I was missing? What was I missing? Was it something else I wanted to oh yeah. It was a funny thing that people notated about Crawford and Canelo is that, you know, when they had their press in Vegas, Canelo was clearly shorter than Crawford in this one. He had taken off the platform shoes. He was clearly shorter than Crawford this time around. But what I do like is the energy between these two. Somebody has to be the good guy, somebody has to be the bad guy. Overall, Canelo has his aura and he has a fan base that's larger than most. For real, that's just the way it is. You ain't changing that. And I definitely like the setup on how Dana White does his questioning, his Q&A. I love it, man. He allowed them to line up behind the mic, not like boxing where they only have certain people asking questions that sit on their ass all day and eat Twinkie cakes. You know, they let the fans propose these questions. Some are good, some are bad. But of course, you know, a guy told Crawford about MMA fans not really knowing who he was, and Crawford was like, "What are you talking about? Where you get that at? I wrestle and I know a lot of UFC fighters. What are you talking about? You know, and come on, talking about mixed martial arts fan don't know who he is. You know, you probably just did that for controversy. But I did like the energy between Canelo and Crawford. I do like Crawford not backing down and assuring people that he's gonna come out victorious. Man, this right here, man, is like the old saying goes, man. This almost seemed too good to be true, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This right here seems too good to be true, dog. I mean, you have two equally matched human beings of the elite level. Two pugilists on a pound for pound list, man. Highly decorated. Highly decorated. You know what I'm saying? A body of work and portfolio, man, there's pages after pages after pages. Now, the fight has been official. The third press conference is out the way. And it's showing both fighters talking they ish. There's been physical contact between both of them. There been eye-to-eye engagement. Man, they've been talking, they talk. Nobody can say one fight is scarier than the other and all that. But man, they've been close proximity in Allegiant Stadium, yo. Oh my God, Allegiant Stadium? Millions of dollars for their purses? People keep talking about Crawford's doing it for a payday, but Crawford is getting Canelo his highest payday for a single night out. Your highest payday, man. Why is this man getting paid his highest payday if you believe that Crawford is in over his head? Why is Canelo being compensated? Somebody need to tell me that. Now, I know to zip it up. A lot of people probably saying, but Combat, you've spoken so long. You're currently over an hour, and we haven't heard you mention little bitty Shakur. Please show him some common decency of respect and talk about Shakur. It's disrespectful. Okay? It's just totally disrespectful. But you know he's fighting a tough fight. You're just ignoring him. You talk about Tank Davis all the time, but you're not talking about Shakur. Hey, shout out to Shakur Stevenson, man. He is fighting Cepeda up the road real soon. And shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Real talk. And another thing, this is what I meant to mention that I was in a conversation with some people about ring size. I know people are busy talking about Brian Norman, Devin Haney, and why the fight ain't happened, this, that, and the other. And people been keeping it. I mean, they've been keeping it raw and uncut. A thou wow hundo. They've been asking the question, did Devin really want to fight? Why? Because they was trying to pretend like Team Haney came looking for Norman Jr. But this has been a topic of discussion about the ring size if the fight was going to happen. And they was talking about the Tom and Jerry. So when you mentioned the Tom and Jerry and the running that went around in that animated cartoon, right? You have to say to yourself, who does this benefit? In this case, where Norman is knocking the beating the Brimo pads off fighters' chin plates, right? And then you have Devin Haney, who just went in there with Jose Ramirez. And I didn't think he was running. I just think he kept his distance, and he was punching and moving for real. It wasn't no William Skull type shit. It wasn't no Jamel Charlo, in my opinion. But to the fight fans, it wasn't entertaining. Just like Shakur received criticism, Devin received criticism too. But this is my whole point. When you talk about an 18x18 ring, that's what they fought in, right? Didn't they fight in an 18x18? I mean, they couldn't fit a big ring in Times Square like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like this Tom and Jerry protest. You have to think about certain fighters actually being very selective in their opponent. Because if Devin's going to go in there with Brian Norman with that type of punching power, and Turkey Al-Sheikh's putting on the fight, he's not going to give you a 22-footer. He's not going to give you a 20-footer. I'm pretty sure that ring is going to be small for a reason. And everything else after that, we have to see how it play out. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, a lot of people saying the fight wasn't going to happen due to that right there, due to that common purpose that no, niggity, no, niggity, no. You're not getting a 22-footer so we can see some goddamn night of ice skating. This is not the Winter Olympics. I'm just saying. You know, a lot of people get mad at Turkey and saying, oh, man, how dare he? He don't know shit like that. Who is he to say this? I'm just saying. I kind of like look, I try to tell people, you know, it ain't gonna benefit every fighter, bro. I know one fighter that's done fallen in some small rings. I'm like, damn. I know they probably wish Jahad Tucker, man, they done put him in some small rings. Nobody's gonna convince me it wasn't for him, man. It damn was for him. They done put that man in some small rings, man, for real. I don't know why, because he was sweeping back and forth, fainting and all that. And they I don't know, but I know he's been in some small rings, man. But let's see how this works. There's a whole nother live. I wanted to give a shout out to Deontay Wilder, WBC King, man. You know, that was my whole live today. I wanted to give a shout out to Team Wilder. You know, him being back in action. The wild part about it, we have a lot of social media boxing voices out here that truly aren't for the sport, man. Real truth be told, they truly aren't for the sport. They're like here to participate in crowd noise. Hear me out when I tell you this. These dudes are here to participate in crowd noise. They are considered to be part-time agitators. They are here just to converse and have dialogue where you can clearly see their declivity. Their decline in boxing knowledge is evident. Yes, sir. It's evident. All they want to do is say some dumb shit. Oh, wow, they're trash. Why you say that? What has he done? Man, he got knocked out by Fury. That's the only thing they can do. Oh, they got knocked out by Fury. How many times did he fight Fury? Oh, the one time he got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't do this, man. You know, I mean, these cats, they don't want to study the sport. If they attempt to go, you know, knowledge-wise, swimming in these boxing aquatics, they find out that they don't have enough oxygen. And they're only like 3 to 4 feet below surface level. For real, if you're trying to compare that to the depth of the topic, a lot of these dudes are in the kiddie pool, getting their pinky toe wet. They just dare to splash around some water. That's just like growing up when we used to be out there. It used to be hot as shit down here. And you'd be chilling over there on the motherfucking corner because, you know, kids are scared to swim or they can't swim. And they'd be over there, and then all of a sudden, kids from the same neighborhood come over there. Why are you sitting out there on the pool edge, getting black as hell? Why don't you get in the water? Oh, it might be. It's only 3 feet. Before you know it, they done splash their ass. And them motherfuckers get up and start running for the parking lot, nigga. For real, they gone. They running, hey, back then, running to a payphone. Hey, mama, can you come pick me up? And Shaniqua splashed me with water. It hurt. I don't like Shaniqua. Shaniqua splashed me with water, mama. Mama said, get your black ass back in that pool and swim. I got things to take care of, all right? Stop sitting on the side of the pool. Get in the water like every other kid. Learn how to swim. That's why I take you down there. And I gave you $2 so you can get you some hot fries and a goddamn slushie. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm telling you, man. Shout out to the OG Bruce Gas, man. Salute to you. Salute to you, man. But yeah, man, I'm serious, man. I'm gonna be back on here a little bit later. I gotta go watch these fights, yo. But shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side official. No negotiations needed, period. We'll do it again.